from?
This is Omar from El Paso.
Welcome, Omar.
Hugh Shepard.
Welcome, Hugh. Welcome, Paul.
Yvette here from Missouri.
Good to have you, Yvette.
Thanks, Mike.
Kim from Kansas City.
Welcome, Kim. Good to have you on.
I'm Sasha from Richmond.
Sasha, good to have you, man.
Thank you.
So just as a reminder, as you guys are kicking in on the call, just go ahead and mention who you are and where you're from. Again, this is going to be a little bit of a larger mentor session than probably most. Okay. So go ahead and mention where you're from, who you are, and where you're from.
Bye-bye. Morning.
Morning, Z.
Morning, guys. I'm Casey from Michigan. How y'all doing?
What's up, Casey? How's the snow?
It's not bad. I got to go snowmobiling in it, so.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Terry from Florida.
Welcome, Terry.
Weston from Washington.
What's up, Weston? Good to have you. So we'll give it just a couple more minutes to give some people some extra time in different time zones to jump on. Again, as I already mentioned, go ahead and mention your name, where you're from, so that people know who's on the call.
This is Kim from Seattle.
Kim, good to have you.
Thank you.
This is Megan from Tennessee.
Megan, great to have you. Congrats, by the way.
Thank you. Excited.
Good stuff. So as we kick this off, I'm going to give it probably 60 more seconds. Just as a reminder, I'm going to record this session for those that can't be on the video or that want to relook at it. We're excited to kick off some things off to a great new year. Do me a favor, just for the sake of recording, make sure that you mute your phone so that we don't have excess stuff going on in the background as we get into this. If you can't mute it, I will, and then you'll probably have a hard time figuring out how to unmute yourself, possibly. So just make sure that you guys mute yourself as you jump on, so that we can make sure that we hear everyone that's talking.
Are you using have you ever used the playback feature? You know, you right click on it and go to playback devices. Going to make sure that you're using the speakers option, the Realtek or something to that effect.
I think that's the only option.
All right. I think we've got, I've muted everyone out. We're going to start the call. Again, if a few of you want to send a quick message out on Slack to remind people, it's always good to have other people mention that we're jumping on the mentor session. That would be great if you guys could do that and help me out. Man, I'm excited to kick off a new year. We had a great finish, had just a phenomenal month in December. Super excited to get back into the swing of things. Looking forward to seeing several of you, I think most of you at conference coming up here in about 30 days. So that's exciting. Make sure you stick around as long as possible on this call, because we're going to have a very exciting kind of announcement. It's going to be a fun deal that we're kicking off to kind of get people focused and committed to the right things. So I'm excited about that. I think it'll be a really good thing. But I do want to go over, just as we get started, I want to go over the kind of where we were at last year, what our goals were, where we finished up. So So what I'm going to do is I'll share the screen. Those of you that are on will be able to see it. Those of you that are not, you'll be able to see it later as we replay it. But I do want to share so what I've got on the screen, and I'm excited to kind of announce a lot of this. We had a lot of commitments last month. I want to show you guys how this all pans out for the team. So just to give you some round numbers, our goal for last year as a team was to write $2 million of business. We came close. I think we were not quite as focused in the first probably quarter of last year and got hyper-focused in the last quarter. That tends to be the situation. Here's my commitment to you guys. I'm not going to allow us to do that again this year. So I am hyper-focused right now in the beginning of the year. So very excited to kind of kick things off. So just want to show you guys 1.725 million was the total that we got to last year. We were shy, just over 200,000 or thereabouts. So really just 1 month is what we were shy. So if we had 13 months, we would have been fine. But did not hit the $2 million mark. I want to give a big shout out to the top 5 in the agency for submitted volume last year. Coming in number 5 and actually taking a fairly large, vacation in the middle of the year. Kevin Jerome came in with 119,000 of production, 111 of applications. Brittany Pendleton, 115 applications, 122,000 of premium. Omar, this is kind of a cool thing. Omar's only been with the agency for, 4 months? I want to say somewhere around there, maybe 5. Omar, I don't remember when you kicked in, but has not been the majority of the year.
Yeah,
so
basically
September. So yeah, you can see kind of what this business can do for someone. Omar's got 117 apps, top 3, with only a couple of months in the business with us last year. So 165,000 of production. Your agency owner, I'm not going to tout too much on me, but this will be the last year I probably get to be in the top 5. I'm expecting you guys to take that over. So I was the second writer of the agency at 91 applications, 169,000 of premium, and our number 1 writer for the agency last year for the 12-month run was Elazar Santos, 213,000 or 213 apps on 240, just shy of 241,000 of premium. So there's a lot of, and if you're looking on the screen, you're seeing a lot of yellow. Okay. And this is probably the most exciting thing for our agency. And I hope that this is going to get you guys stoked up for your agency too. Because this is the ones that are in white. And I want to point this out. We only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of the 62 writers last year. 12 of them were here the previous year. Okay, the numbers on the screen, the colors on the screen, we have 50, 51 to be exact, brand new writers in 2017. 51, guys. And that is just the beginning, okay? So I want to give you guys some context. 2016, okay, and we're going to look at 2016 to show you the growth of the team. And then we're going to talk about commitments and how these commitments, we've been tightening down on the commitments. And I really think that what you guys have been working on as a team has really kind of propelled us in the last quarter. So 2016, to give you guys an example, in 2016, this uncapped number is not realistic. That's not fair. Let me change this just a little bit to make it realistic. 617,000 of production. And what I want you guys to see is the previous year, we only had 2 writers. And we brought on 17 people. Okay? So I want you guys to see what exponential growth looks like, not what it sounds like. Okay? These are real numbers. This is what the agency's been doing. This is the growth that we've been seeing. So we had 2016, we had 19 writers. 17 of those were new. This is when I was beginning to get started in growing the agency. Again, this is only 2 years ago, guys. Just to give you context, we brought on 17 new writers. I was the main writer that year. I want that to be the example that each of you do for your agencies. You need to be the person that leads from the front. 2017, last year, brought on 51 writers, okay? The question I want to ask you guys in 2018, and I'm going to paint a little bit of a picture. Our goal was 2 million. We were just shy of that. We were shy by 1 month, okay? All we had to do is cram 4 more weeks of production into the year, and we would have hit our goal, okay? We weren't off by that much. Our agency goal, my goal, where I want to be and where I want the team to be, is 6 million. 6 million is the projected team goal that I want to see our team doing at the end of 2018. And I don't want, as a team, okay, because either we make it or we don't. It's not a I make it. It's the team. I cannot do this without each of you guys. Okay, and I want to hit this point home with how important commitment is, how important it is for you guys to see your vision, how much of that 6 million is your agency going to do, whether that's you and one other person or whether that's you and 10 other people. How much is your agency going to commit to the team? And we're going to talk about how this is going to work as we do some fun commitments, some extra cash, some fun things that you guys can do from a competition standpoint that I think will be really exciting. I'm excited about it. So 2017, 1.72 million. 2018, 6 million. And I know Chris and I were talking just before through Slack, and I know he was kind of going back and forth on what was a realistic goal for his sub-agency that just broke out. And I know that, Chris, I'm going to make this a big point here. If you look at the breakdown here, those of you that are looking on the screen, you'll see the agency managers. My base shop, if you break out everything that Chris's agency did, my base shop did $939,000. Chris and his team, everyone that's associated to Chris and his hierarchy, you guys knocked home almost $800,000 of production. Okay, and that's in a year that actually is better than what I did when I broke out. Okay, so put it into context that every person that you bring on board, your goal needs to be that they're better than you. You need to train them and lead them to be a better person and a better leader than you were. That's what propels this business into exponential growth. So, Chris is looking up and saying, hey, we as an agency did just over $260,000 of 260% growth in 2017. If we were to do that again for his agency, where would he be at? Just shy of 800. $3 million is a tough mark. That's actually more like 300% or more. Okay? So if the agency is at, and you guys are seeing the numbers, Chris's agency is about half of what the overall team's production is. So if we're going to do 6 million, Chris is looking up and saying, hey, I need to do 3. I need to do 2.5. I need to do 2.8. That's what I need to do. This is extremely doable, guys. And I want to show you, I'm going to break into, again, if you're looking on the screen, I want to show you guys December, okay? And I'm going to let you in a little bit on what me as a leader, what Chris and I as leaders, what we look at team commitments, follow through, things of that nature. And we're going to be very transparent, okay? We're going to be very kind, very honest about this, but I want you guys to see how you as a team have been pulling together. This is all about team, okay? And I want to show you back in September when we started tracking this, when we started looking at this, our team in September had a commitment of $281,000. We fell miserably short, okay? And I'm being very honest. 42.33% was the actual number that we did. So we committed as a team, and this says more about me as a leader at that point, okay, than it says about you guys. As a leader, I encouraged you guys to make commitments of 281, and I didn't help you follow through on that, and we hit 119, okay, miserably short. You'll notice that as a leader, I don't put blame on you guys. I put it on myself, okay? This is my job to help coach and mentor you guys into being committed and meaning what you say. So October rolls around. We're working on it, right? We commit to 284, and we're at 61% of goal. Still not kicking it, okay? Still not worth talking about, okay? We go to November, and as a team, we committed to 288 again, okay? And we did 60% again. We're still not doing it. December rolls around, and I'm excited to share this with you guys. Our commitments became a little bit more about who we are, I think. Commitments came down just a little bit. 224 was the commitments. The agency did 88%. Now, 88% in school would be an okay grade, okay? But I want to ask you, I want you guys to think about this. As a team, is it okay for us to only follow through 88% of the time? I don't see that as successful. Now, it's close and we're getting there, okay? But I want January to be, I want 2018 to be about integrity, commitment, and our word. I want our team to be known as people who follow through with what they say they're going to do. That needs to be a thread of our culture, who we are. When you talk about recruiting and you say you're going to do something, they get that on the other end. When you tell someone you're going to produce a number, we know we can commit to that you're going to commit to that. The best analogy, and guys, you'll know if you spend time with me, I'm not a sports guy, okay? You'll know that. And Chris is chuckling, okay? But I'm going to do my best to make a good analogy, okay? I want everyone on this call to pretend that you are a front linebacker. That is your job on the team, is to prevent the tackle of the quarterback. That is your job, okay? Can you imagine what it would be like if one of you, okay, and I'll just pick on myself. I'll pick on Chris. Okay? Can you imagine if Chris just sidestepped and let the guy through and just plummeted, like our just quarterback just went down? Like just tackled. Let's say I'm the quarterback. Just tackled me. Just slammed me to the ground, okay? I'm out for an injury. How would you as a team feel about Chris? That would be awful, right? Like you guys would go to him, say, man, you let us down. Why didn't you do what you said you were going to do? You said you were going to handle that tackle. You didn't. That's the culture that I want you guys to put yourself in. When we're making commitments, because I'm going to show you in a second, we have some stout commitments. Like you guys have really amped up your game, okay? January, we've gone around and we've collective commitments from well over, there's about 29 people, okay, that have made commitments to the team. And commitments, it's not about the number, guys. It's about you following through. But we as a team have committed to $335,000. That is the largest commitment so far our entire agency has ever committed to. And I'll be honest with you guys, I'm a little scared. I'm a little bit scared because I do not want us to come up short of 88%. Like I don't want that. I don't like going backwards. I hate it. Okay. So I'm trying to express to you guys the importance. We need to do 100% of our individual goal. I'm not asking Jeffrey to go out and write $338,000. I'm not asking Omar to double up and do 80. Okay, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking each of you to make your play. Run your line. Run what it is you're supposed to do, because as a team, we will progress. We will progress down the field, and as a team, at the end of this month, we will have a touchdown. We will. It'll happen, but it's only going to happen if each of you individually hit your commitment, and it's only going to happen if each of you take that as a super important, as a life or death, I'm going to die on this sword commitment. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to verbally commit. And we're going to talk about, you'll see some teams on the left side as those of you that are looking at the spreadsheet. We'll talk about that in a second. We're going to track this and we're going to make this exciting for you guys, okay? But I'm going to go through some commitments. And some of you had commitments, some of you had goals. I'm more focused on the commitments, okay? So I'm just going to verbally go through these. Rachel Fox, and I'm not doing these in any specific order. It doesn't matter which order, okay? But Rachel Fox, $30,000 commitment, okay, to the team. And guys, I'm telling everyone this because it is your job as a team to hold the person accountable. That is your job as a team. Omar Diaz, $30,000 commitment, okay? And I'm going to tell you what, guys, seeing his track history, there's not a bit of doubt in me that he's going to do that. It's done. It's in the bag because I've seen the track history, okay? Jeffrey Brown, $25,000 commitment. Buddy, we're counting on you, man. We're counting on you. Kevin Jerome, $20,000 commitment. We're counting on you. Yvette Schuster, $20,000 commitment. I know I can count on her. Tom Van Ham, okay? New gun. Love what I'm seeing. I love the commitment. We've had the conversation. But, Tom, you've committed to $20,000. I'm excited to see you do it. It's going to happen. Jim McIntyre, okay? $20,000. I'm going to be transparent, and I'm not calling people out, okay? I'm very transparent. As a team, you guys need to hold Jim accountable, okay? You need to hold him accountable. I'm calling Jim out. I'm doing it kindly as a coach, okay, that we need to help Jim stay focused and write the $20,000 this month, okay, as a team, or else we're not gonna hit our goal. Elazar Santos, how many of you think Elazar is gonna write 15? I think he can do it, okay. $15,000. Brittany Santos, $15,000. Paul Mount Money, $15,000. Hugh Shepard, $12,000. Ron Dilbert, and I'm going to talk about you for a second, Ron. I want to show you last month when we go into this competition and what we're going to talk about and how it's going to work. You're going to see how important hitting your personal commitment means to this overall contest that we're going to run through. So, Ron, I'm going to come back to you, but Ron, $12,000. I know you're going to do it. You did it last month. William Pittman out of California, $12,000 commitment, locked in. I know he's going to do it, okay? Brandon Henry, $11,000. I'm calling him out on the carpet, okay? Brandon, don't let us down. As a team, don't let us down, okay? Charlie, $10,000 commitment. Karen Jackson, $10,000 commitment. I have no doubt that you're going to do it. I know you're locked and loaded. You've had a lot of stuff going on. I'm excited to see January happen, especially going into the February conference. Casey Whetstone out of Michigan, $7,500 commitment. Sean Beerhobbs out of Michigan. Guys, you guys are in the same neighborhood, Grand Rapids. Lock together, work together. You both have the same commitment. See if you guys can get there together as quick as possible. Shep Willoughby, $6,000 commitment. Ben DePass, here you go, guys. This is exciting to tell you guys. Ben is still in his last semester of college, quit his other jobs as a student and is locked and loaded, ready to go, doing this and his last full semester. Okay, so as a team, it's your job to help hold Ben accountable. He's got the days, he's got the times blocked, his classes are blocked, all that stuff are blocked. Let's help him hit his $6,000 commitment. That's important to the team. Victoria, $5,000 commitment. Kyle Patterson, $5,000 commitment. Kim Atkins, $5,000 commitment. Kimberly Pulido, $5,000 commitment. Zeev Ohel, $3,000 commitment. Christopher Thompson, $2,500 commitment. Brian Broyles, $2,500 commitment. Sasha, $2,000 commitment. And Richard Markland, $1,200 commitment. Now, I want to be very, very clear here, guys. I do not want you as humans to look down this list and say whoever's lower on the list is less important, okay? Just because the person who kicks the punter, the guy who does the least amount of stuff in in the game does not make what he does less valuable, okay? So every single person on this sheet has to follow through, okay? Has to follow through in order for us to hit this commitment. Now, I've got a few people on the bottom of the sheet that you guys as a team are welcome to see if you can get the commitments from them, okay? I haven't been able to get commitments from a couple of people. You're welcome to look at those. Some of those are at different stages in the business. Some of those can't probably commit yet in January. But guys, if you've made a commitment, it's important that you follow through. Now, here's what I want to show you guys as we go into this, and it'll take probably 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, and we can open it up for questions as well as we go into this, as we talk about the kind of the fun game that we're going to play here as we move forward in commitments. We have a kickoff, no pun intended, talking about football, a kickoff to what we call the cash commitment challenge. Okay, I don't know about you guys, but I don't have a problem getting a little extra cash. I like getting a little extra cash for doing the right stuff. But there's a little bit of a twist here, and those of you that are looking at the screen, I'm going to put this on the screen, and we're going to talk about this. I'm going to share this in Slack as well once we get off. But here's the contest qualifications. We're doing this month by month, okay? We are doing this every month this year, okay? So you have an opportunity to win every single month, okay? This money is coming from your leaders, okay? It's coming from us to you guys, okay? We are invested in helping you guys do the right things. So here's how the contest works. You guys are going to be broken up into, everyone who's made a commitment is going to be broken up into 3 teams. The teams are they're random. There's no specific, the way that I broke those up is to make sure that the total commitments are about the same. So if you look on the sheet that we just looked at, you'll see team 1, team 2, team 3. I'll tell you guys who's in what teams so that you guys can work together as a team. But each team you'll see is right at $112,000 of production, submitted commitment production, okay? So everyone's got the same amount. There might be 1 or 2 different members off, okay? It might not be totally even from a number count standpoint, but it's pretty close, okay? The 29 people are broken up into about probably 8, 9 people each team or thereabouts, okay? So you've been put into teams. Those teams could change next month. Okay, they probably will. But the whole purpose of this and the way that you win, okay, the contest qualifications are as follows. You must have a personal commitment of above $5,000 to win the prize. Doesn't mean that we're not asking you to commit more, okay? If you're under $5,000, that's totally fine, okay? That there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to obtain the actual prize, you have to have a commitment above $5,000. Guys, the reason why that's the case is this money is coming out of override money that we're paying back into you guys. So if you got a $1,000 commitment, there's not enough money for us to be able to pay out what for you to do. And quite frankly, we don't want to encourage people to consistently write only $1,000 a month. Okay. There's nothing wrong with ramping up. There's nothing wrong with that. That's totally fine. But we want to encourage some consistent, good, positive production. Okay. The only way that you can win is to be a part of the winning team. Okay. And the way that you're a part of the winning team is whatever team hits 100%, okay, 100% of their commitment. And here's the reality, guys. If all three teams don't hit 100%, no one gets anything. There's zero that gets paid out. Okay. This only is if you hit 100% as a team. Okay. Now, if there is a tie, let's say two people make over 100%, then the prize will go to the highest team, whoever achieved the most. Okay, so 101%, 108%. The prize goes to 108%. Okay, that team. Okay, now those that are on that team. Okay, this is not you can't just ride the shirt tail of a team. Okay, you can't ride. If your commitment's 5,000 and someone on the team writes 5,000 more than their commitment, and you don't do your commitment, you're not going to be rewarded for that. Okay? The only way you can get the prize is if you're on the winning team and you personally hit your commitment. So everyone on the team that hit their individual commitment will win the prize. So we could have one person win. We could have all 9 of you win. Okay? And quite frankly, I'd rather hand out a couple $1,000s than $200. Okay? The prize is a little bit unique, okay? We as a team are so focused. We talk about Symmetry's culture is about balance. We talk about, playing hard and working hard. And I see time and time again, people way too focused on working hard, and their marriages fall apart. Their kids don't get to see them. All this other stuff happens. And I don't think that's healthy. Neither Chris or I think that's healthy, okay? So the prize is this. You get $200 cash, okay? We will give you $200 cash for hitting your commitment, but there's a stipulation. This does not go to pay your bills, okay? That's not what this is designed for. It's designed to create balance. It's designed to create symmetry in your work, in our Colburn agency culture. And so here is the stipulation. You get the $200 cash, but you have to go spend that on either a date with your spouse, out on the town with your kids. It has to be out with a significant other, a best friend, and you have to spend every dollar of it on that one night out. Every dollar of it. Okay? It can't be $150 and pocket the other $50 for something else. You have to spend all $200 of it on that night out. And what we're going to do is we're going to spotlight those of you that hit the commitment. We're going to spotlight what that meant for you and how that affected your relationship with your kids, your relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your close friend, what it felt like to be able to be in that environment where you could blow $200. Some of you can't imagine what it's like to blow $200 on absolutely nothing but just having a good time and making memories, okay? Especially in some of the financial situations that some of us are in. So I want this to be an opportunity where we as a team build our culture, we build our commitment. And again, I would really like to hand out $2,000 cash and have, 6, 7, 8 of you guys going out and building memories with people that mean something to you, that are close to you on a personal standpoint. So, I want to talk about the team, and I want to show you how this worked last month. I looked at this, and last month, if we broke out these teams, if we just look at the teams as the different sub-agencies, that's the way we had it broken out last month, okay? So the Clark agency, the Santos agency, the Colburn agency, and as a whole, we were doing 224 last month of commitment, okay? The Clark agency, had a commitment of 125,000. They did 115. It was a 92.25%. Okay. The Santos Agency was at 48,000, did 28.9. That's 60%. The Colburn Agency was at 51.5. We did 53.8. We had 104%. So the way this would have worked if it was last month, just to knock this home, is everyone on the Colburn Agency team, as this was broken out, would have qualified for receiving that $200 prize. If you look on the sheet, everyone in blue is a part of the Colburn Agency, Colburn Base Shop, okay? You'll notice that some people only hit 86%. The only person that is labeled blue in my base shop, in the direct base shop, was Ron Dilbert. So as it would pan out last month, okay, the entire agency did 88%. The Colburn Direct hit 100% of commitment, but Ron Dilbert would be the only one that got that prize because he's the only one that actually followed through and did what it was that he said he was going to do. Does that make sense? Does everyone kind of understand how that works? I hope that's fairly clear how that works. Is there any, if you guys want to unmute yourself and ask questions about this before we move on, we can do that. But I want to make this I'm going to post this this kind of qualification sheet in Slack so you guys can have it. We're going to go ongoing. I'm going to track this every single week when Jen updates Opt, when we update the items and the numbers. We're going to continue to update these things, and I'm going to help you guys know where your goals are, where your commitments are. But I need you guys to pull together as a team, as sub-teams, and make sure your team hits your commitment. That is your job, okay? And we're going to talk about who's on what team in a second here. Any questions as to how this works?
Well, this is Ron. Can we start last month?
I would love to, but no.
Might clarify the fact that so all three teams have to hit their 100%?
No. The only winning team is the one that actually hits 100%. 100% or higher.
And then whoever's above the higher of the two of the 100% is the winner.
If there's two teams or three if all three hit 100%, then the higher will, and we might, Chris and I can talk about that. We might be able to do since this is the kickoff month, we're going to do it this way. We're just one team, whoever's the highest. Guys, you're going to know your numbers. Okay, this is not like you're not going to sandbag stuff. Okay, these are going to be updated. Okay, and guys, I'm going to talk about something else about sandbagging. I'm glad Jeffrey kind of brought this up, and this kind of led into this. This is not your opportunity to go back and recommit to me half of your commitment. Okay, so that you can sandbag and do more. Okay, that's not what this is about. And here's the reality: we all know as leaders what you guys are capable of. Okay, I'm going to use Omar as a good example. I'm going to not let Omar come in here and say he's going to make a commitment of $15,000. That doesn't knock it. Okay, I know that's not even close. Okay, to what he's supposed to be doing for his own family. Okay, so we know what you guys are capable of. Once we go through the first month, and that's why we did a blind commitment without you guys knowing what this is, okay? But next month, we are okay with making adjustments based on how you performed the first month, okay? It's not like you've got to always stay at 10,000. If you committed to 10,000 and you only knocked out of the park, 4,000, then maybe that 10,000 isn't where your commitment needs to be. Okay. But on the flip side, if you committed to 10 and you went out and wrote 20, then 10,000 isn't where your commitment needs to be. Okay. So this is part of this exercise as a team, is to create unity and commitment. But the other part is to find your ceiling, find your kind of what your capacity is for commitment to the team. And everyone's commitment capacity is different based on part-time, full-time expectations, all that other stuff, okay? So, but we want all of you to be able to get rewarded for following through on your word. That's what we're trying to nail home here. Okay. Any other questions?
Mike.
And I want to go through team.
I was gonna say, Mike, you mind if I jump in real quick?
Please do.
Yeah, I think everyone needs to understand for perspective, we're really trying to accomplish three things. One, we want you to develop some belief in yourself and understand the difference between commitment and goals. We'll have a lot of people, when we do this blind commitment, that are going to come in and they're going to overcommit. They're going to say, and I had conversations with people, they're like, I'm going to write 40,000. And it's like, no, you're not. You've never written more than 12. Like, you're not going to write 40,000. I need you to give me a number that I know is a hard number. You can make a goal of 40,000 and we can talk about what it was. But really understanding that. Two is we want to create cross-line and greater agency peer-to-peer mentorship. And that's something that we didn't talk about a ton, frankly, is you getting on Slack saying, hey guys, I want this. Like, I want to go on a date, or I want to take myself to the spa and get a massage, or I want to take my kids, my whole family to dinner. I want to spend this $200. I want to create this memory. And bud, you've only done 20% of your goal. You need to get it in gear. That peer-to-peer mentorship and learning to lead peer-to-peer is the strongest leadership that you can develop. If you have no leverage over someone and you can learn to convince them to follow and to self-lead, if you can convince them to get towards the goals they say they have, that is the strongest leadership skill that you can develop. It's peer-to-peer mentorship. And I say that, and it sounds like paplum, but I want you to understand that it's really very important, and it's a leadership skill that you will develop in you to help build your team down the road. But the third and final thing, and what Mike was talking about, is we really want to create a stable, projected business for yourselves and for us. And in knowing what we can regularly expect our growth to do, this will allow us to get there by knowing what a commitment number is and what a goal number is. That allows Mike and I to continually invest in the infrastructure. There's things that we are doing, literally meetings that we're having yesterday, to continue to upgrade and enhance the infrastructure to help you all get towards your greater goals as you develop your own agencies.
One thing I was thinking about, Chris, and I want to make sure that everyone is aware of this. So as we break out into teams, and I really appreciate what you brought out there, Chris. You were spot on. Really appreciate that. As we break you out into these teams, what you'll find on Slack, okay, I will be creating private groups. There will be 3 private groups. They're going to be called CCC Team 1, Team 2, Team 3. CCC stands for, anyone want to take a gander?
Let's say Cash Challenge Commitment.
Look at that. Man, brilliant. Cash Commitment Challenge. So they're going to be private groups. I'm going to only add the people that are in your team. I want you guys to utilize that as cross communication with your team to be able to hold each other accountable. You'll find Chris and I will be involved in both of those. You'll notice that Chris and I are not a part of the production for this. We want this to be you guys. We want to coach and mentor you in this avenue. And we want this to be fun, guys. If you're not having fun doing this business, you shouldn't be doing it. Okay, this business is so much fun if you lock into the friendship, the camaraderie, the enjoyment of being able to build something for your family. I was just thinking about this the other day. Thinking about the income, the projection, the $6 million projection, having conversations with as we recruit, as well as we were having a conversation with a media team yesterday. Working on some potential new corporate overviews and enhancing some of our recruiting stuff and videos, and just talking about the projection of where the company is going to be. 6 million the end of 2018, the end of 2019, 2020. Okay, 3 years from now is 30 million. 5 years from now is 50 million. Just to think about what that kind of potential income does for my kids, for their kids, for their kids. Talk about legacy planning, all the, the memories that you're going to be able to build as you build this system correctly is such a big deal. And I want you guys to enjoy the journey. Don't get so caught up in some of the challenges. If you're not being challenged and you're not having challenges, then you're not growing. Okay, so embrace those challenges, embrace the hardships, embrace the sacrifices that have to be made. My wife and I were reminiscing about some of the sacrifices that we had to make, some of the awful experiences that we had to go through in order to become who we needed to become to succeed at this level. And it's just, I'm so excited to have those stories come to fruition for a multitude of people this year. It's going to happen. There are going to be people that go through sacrifices, go through challenges, go through very, very difficult situations, and they're going to come out on the other end just hugely successful. And I'm excited to see that happen. So we're gonna show you guys again on the screen. You're gonna see some of this. These are not broken out based on agency. They're strictly based on production, making sure that the numbers pan out correctly. Okay. So team 1. Okay, I'm gonna call these out. Team 1 consists of Omar Diaz, Jim McIntyre, Brittany Santos, Paul Montmoney, Karen Jackson, Shep Willoughby, Kim Atkins, Kimberly Pulido, Brian Broyles, and Sasha. That's team 1, okay? There's
That's a pretty
10.
exciting group right there.
It's pretty good group, okay? Team 2 is Rachel Fox, Jeffrey Brown, Elazar Santos, Ron Dilbert, Charlie Bevan, Sean Bierhobbs, Ben DePass, Zeev O'Hell, Christopher Thompson, and Richard Markland. Team 2. Team 3, which quite frankly has a little bit of an underdog because there's one less, okay? But listen to the roundup, okay? Kevin
Actually, I
Jerome.
like I'm looking at the lineup here, and I would bet on team 3 if I'm betting.
Kevin Jerome, Yvette Schuster, Tom Van Han, Hugh Shepard, William Pittman, Brandon Henry, Casey Whetstone, Victoria Baldwin King, Kyle Patterson, okay? So I will create these groups once we get off the call here. I'm really excited to see how this builds team camaraderie, builds unity. And again, I want to lock this home. Guys, it doesn't matter what your commitment is, 20,000, 40,000, 10,000, okay? It doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to make one opportunity for a group of people to make a change to their commitment. And if you have anything above 5,000, you cannot commit more or less, okay? Those of you that are below 5,000, if you want, you can increase your commitment to 5,000 in order to be a part of that $200 prize. But be careful, okay? Be careful because your team's counting on you. Okay? So you can message me directly, you can message your upline if that's someone else. And let us know if you want to increase from 1,200 or 2,500 or 3,000 or whatever it is to 5,000, but you better be certain that your team can follow through and count on you, okay? Everyone else, your numbers are locked in. They can't be changed. They are what they are. You gave me your word, and I'm expecting your word is gold. Any other thoughts before we kind of finalize all this and get you guys off the call and get you guys making phone calls and in some meetings?
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I honestly am. I mean, I never had anything like this, and I'm very excited to see a lot of this cross-line rallying, a lot of this leadership that's going to happen as we foster new leaders. And I really want, again, to kind of beat that drum that this experience will help you not only personally, but help the greater group and continue to foster that that community that we're developing. But right now, I mean, I'm looking at this. I'm on the video call. I'm looking at it. And Mike, I know that you're not the biggest sports guy. Jeff, this is more of a joke for you and I. But, you know, you go to a Royals game and seventh inning stretch, Mustard, Ketchup, and Relish race each other around the stadium. And I always bet on Mustard. You know, that I'm a Mustard guy. And I'm trying to figure out who my Mustard team is going to be here, like who I know is who I'm always going to bet on. I would love for all of you guys to win, but man, there's some strong people in each group. I don't know who I think has this. I almost feel like Team 3, the underdog, could maybe pull this out. It's a pretty hard one to break out. What are you thinking, Mike? I mean, do you think there's this one group that's stronger than the other?
I think that I think what's cool about this is that there's enough of a mix that the only team that's going to win is the one that pulls together, rallies, that communicates. That I think the heavier committed people pull the less committed people up.
That's exactly what I think. I think so. I mean, I'm looking at, Team 1 probably has the biggest hitters, but that also puts a lot more responsibility on them to carry their weight and also communicate with the lower people in Team 1. I'm really excited to see how this works out. I'm really excited to see the fostering and development of leadership.
Yeah, I agree.
And as always, go Mustard,
So maybe we need to change these teams to be Mustard, Ketchup, and Relish.
Mustard, Ketchup, Relish. Yeah, I love it.
All right, guys, listen, if there's not any other questions, I am stoked to see how this pans out. Guys, I love having fun. You guys don't get a lot of that side of me. I'm a sarcastic guy. When you catch me outside of the business realm, I tend to be pretty carefree and just kind of easygoing. I'm excited to see this transpire. My biggest excitement, okay, is really to hear the stories of what this. $200 isn't a ton of money, guys, but $200 is a lot to spend. I don't know how many of you have spent $200 on a date, whether that's with your best friend. A lot of you haven't. Okay, some of you have, and some of your spouses or significant others are going to be blown away. Okay, at the fact that you're spending that kind of money on them. Okay, so I'm excited that this is going to be a great opportunity to really foster some good relationship stuff inside of your own personal lives, which means a lot to us, guys. We talk a lot about business, but it means a lot for us as people to have healthy relationship, healthy friendships, that this business is impacting those that we care about. That really means a lot to us in our culture. So I'm excited. I don't know. Maybe we should start a side bet. Maybe we can get some betting going on and some double or nothing. I don't know. It'll be interesting how this all pans out.
Yeah, let's bet on those ponies for sure.
Guys, I'm excited. I cannot wait to see. I'm going to give you a side note before I let everyone go. Let's do our best to get as many on the team to conference. This is just a total side note, okay? Conference is literally weeks away, okay? It is going to be here before any of you realize it. Make that commitment to yourself. If you haven't registered yet, let us know if money is the issue to getting registered. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're not promising we can do anything, but we will. Where there's a will, there's a way. So don't let, $100 be what prevents you from getting to the most significant conference that's going to impact your business, and potentially your agency as you grow it. So, make a commitment to stay committed, and to make sure that you guys are, bringing the right people, bringing those that you care about to conference. And I'm excited for this C cubed. We call it C cubed. There's my mathematician coming out in me. Cash commitment challenge. And we'll keep you guys updated. Proud of each one of you guys. Couldn't be happier to be a part of such a phenomenal team and culture, and appreciate each one on the team. Be blessed, guys. Have a great day, and enjoy the day.